انتبه. قناة الإدراك.
Good morning, students. Our today's lesson is expressing condition, or how to express the condition. Today we are going to see the types of the conditional. So, how many types do we have? Conditional types, we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. So we have 4 types of conditional. We express conditional by using if. A conditional sentence consists of 2 clauses. We have seen that a clause is a part of a sentence. So, in a conditional sentence, we have 2 parts. We have conditional clause and we have the result clause. So, we have 2 types. The first type here is the 0 conditional. We have if plus the subject plus the verb. So, when we have if, it means this is a conditional clause. Then, the second clause is the result of this condition. Let's see an example. So, iron expands at high temperature. This is a scientific truth or general truth or a scientific fact. If we heat iron, clause, it expands, another clause. So, this clause is a condition, and the second clause is the result of this one. Here we have if. If we heat iron, it expands. As we have seen in the lesson of the present simple, we use the present simple always with the scientific truth or general truth. Here we have it expands. We have the verb here in the simple present, and we have also the verb in the present simple. Here the verb in the present simple, here the verb also in the present simple. So this is the first case, we call it 0 conditional. So both verbs in the both clauses are in the present simple, so we call it 0 conditional. Why do we call it 0 conditional? Because there is no change between the first verb and the second verb in the term of conjugation. The first verb is in the present simple and the second verb is in the present simple too. So, scientific facts and general truth, as we have seen in the example, a situation that doesn't change through time. It means a situation that is true at any time. Okay? So, here the form. The form is if we can replace it by when. It means if and when. In this example, or in this type of conditional, they have the same meaning. Plus subject, plus present simple. Here we put the comma. Because we have started with the conditional here, we put the comma. Then the result clause after the first clause. So, if we hit iron, comma, it expands. If we hit iron, it expands. Here we have if, verb in simple present, and it expands is the result of this sentence. So here we replace if by when. What does it mean this? Great. It means that if and when have the same meaning. Both they have the same meaning. Why? Because we can replace if by then without any change in the meaning. Okay, no change in the meaning and no change in the tense. So here we keep the same tense. When we hit iron, it expands. Also the same thing. If you can remark this one, the conditional clause, and this one is the result of the first one. So if we reverse, let's reverse the result clause with the condition clause. What do we say? We say, iron expands if we hit it. Iron expands if we hit it. Or we can say, when we hit iron, it expands. Both are correct. So, if we expose water to 100 Celsius degrees, it boils. So this is also a scientific truth. When we expose water to 100 Celsius degrees, it means water boils. Okay? So now, if the sun sets, it becomes dark. When the sun sets, it becomes dark. If it rains, plants grow. When it rains, plants grow. So here, interchangeably, we use if and when interchangeably. Do you know what this means interchangeably? It means we can change them without changing in the meaning. This is the form, subject plus present simple, if or when, plus subject plus present simple. Here we have no comma. Why do we put here no comma? Look here, we have the comma. We have started with the conditional clause, and after that we have the result. Here no comma because we have the reverse the two clauses. So we begin with the result clause first, then the conditional clause. Okay? So iron expands if we hit it. So here we don't have a comma here because we have started with the result. Remember, always when we start with the result clause, we do not have to put a comma. If we start with the conditional clause, we have to put comma between to separate the two clauses. Then, here it becomes, if the sun sets, always we have reversed. We start with the result, then the conditional. We start with the result, then the conditional. The same thing for all the sentences. Understood? Great. So we move to the first conditional now. The first conditional. Example. You have to study hard to succeed. You have to study hard to succeed. So this is the verb. And here we have another verb in the infinitive. So this is part, and this is part, but here we don't have any clauses. Let's see the second. If you study hard, you will succeed. We have if, it means this is a condition. If you study hard, so this is the condition, you will succeed. By your result, you will succeed. So the first verb is in the present simple, and the second verb is in the future. So if you are going to study hard now, you will have the result in the future. So the result here in the future, simple. So this is the first part, the first type of the conditional. So here we have real condition, future possibility, prediction, probability. Real condition, it means this. This is the real condition. It means the condition is real here in this time. And the future possibility, possible you are going to succeed, or I predict that you are going to succeed, or probably you are going to succeed. So this is the result here. So the result is in the future, okay? Now let's see the form. The form is if plus subject plus present simple in the conditional clause. We put the subject plus verb in the future simple in the result clause. Always we separate between them a comma, between the conditional clause and the result clause, okay? So, let's have the example. If it rains for 2 weeks, this is what? The conditional. The river will flood, okay? So, if it rains for 2 weeks, the river will flood. This is the result of this. This is the result of this. This is the condition. If it rains for 2 weeks, this is the condition. What is the result? The result will be in the future. So here the condition is in the present and the result is in the future. Okay? So we call this type 1. Conditional type 1. So if she finds a job, another example, if she finds a job, she will rent a flat. It means an apartment. If he wins the race, they will give him a medal. If my family save lots of money, they will enroll me at Harvard University. If you serve the dinner, the children will come to eat. So remember, in this type, we have the condition in the simple present and the result of this condition in the future. So the form here, subject plus simple future, if we reverse the two clauses, it means if we start with the result, if plus subject plus present simple. Here no comma between the two sentences. Why? Because we have started with the result clause. Great, let's see the sentences here. If it rains for 2 weeks, the river will flood. If we change this with this, we say the river will flood if it rains for 2 weeks, and we don't have to use comma between the two clauses. Understood? Okay, let's move to another part. Second conditional. It means type number 2. Let's see an example here. I'm not a doctor I'm not a doctor. Here we have a mistake to treat. I'm not a doctor to treat poor people for free. I'm not a doctor to treat poor people for free. So here, if I were a doctor, so now I am not a doctor, I am a teacher. So if I were a doctor, I would treat, let's correct this verb. I would treat poor people for free. So if I were a doctor in the past, okay, now we are going to talk about a fact in the past, not here at present, because now it's too late to be a doctor. Okay, now I am teacher. It's too late to be a doctor. So this is impossible. So this condition is impossible. I would treat poor people for free. Okay, if I were a doctor, I would treat people for free, but now I'm not a doctor. Okay, let's see this second example. If she were a dentist, she would have better teeth. If she were a dentist, she would have better teeth. Here, can you remark anything about this? Exactly, that's it. We don't use were with I in the past. So this is the verb to be. Verb to be in the past, what do we say? She was. But here we have seen she were. Why? Because if we use the condition with if in the past, with the situation that it is not true here at the present, so we use were with all the pronouns. So we say I were, you were, he were, she were, they were. We don't say she was, he was, and it was, as we have seen with the verb to be in the past. So this is an exception. She would have better teeth. So what do we have here? Would plus the stem of the verb. So here in the first part, what do we have? The past simple in the condition. And we have would plus stem of the verb. Stem, as we have seen, is the verb in the infinitive. Without to, we call it the stem. So we used were instead of was. So what do we use? Were instead of was, because the situations is not real. So here we are talking about unreal. We are talking about unreal situation. So now I am a teacher, I'm not a doctor. So this is unreal situation. So we call this subjunctive. We call it subjunctive. Example. If I were you, it means I am supposing that I am in your place. I would tell the police. So here we have the verb in the past simple. Here we have would plus the stem. Example. In reality, I'm not you, and you are not me. This means I cannot be you. I just imagine myself in your place. In another way, if I was in your place or situation, I would tell the police. If I were you, if I was in your situation, I would tell the police. So this is unreal situation. So this is the type of unreal situation condition. So the condition here is unreal because I am not you and you are not me. I'm just imagining myself in your stand or in your place. So if I were a doctor, so this is a real condition or unreal condition. I am a teacher, so this is the reality. Unreal present situation, so I imagine that I am a doctor. Okay, now let's see the conditional type 2, the form here, as we have seen if plus subject plus past simple, comma, subject plus would plus stem. Always if we reverse the result with the condition, we reverse the sentences but without using commas. Note, okay, you should remark that the verb to be in the if clause is always where, as we have seen, with all the subject pronouns. So here the present simple, here the past simple. I was, she was, he was, and it was. But if we use the past conditional, we say where. Here we always have where. We don't have any change, always we have where, so this is what? The exception. This is an exception. Okay, let's move to the third conditional. Example, I wasn't really careful, so this is happened in the past. I wasn't really careful, so we use so to express result. I wasn't really careful, so I injured myself. I wasn't careful, so I injured myself. So now the condition, what is it? If I had been careful, I wouldn't have injured myself. Okay, which tense have we used here? Past perfect, great. So this is the past perfect. And we use the past perfect for what? Great. We use the past perfect for two actions in the past. One happened before the other. The first action we use the past perfect, and the second action we use the past simple. Here, if I had been careful, so this is in the past, I wouldn't have injured myself. I wouldn't have injured myself. So this is past perfect. This is would have plus past participle of the verb. The past participle of the verb is injured. Would plus past perfect, or past would have plus past participle. So this meaning is hypothetical. Hypothetical. What does it mean, hypothetical? So here it means that we have a hypothesis. We have a hypothesis in the past. So this is hypothetical. We are just expressing hypothesis in the past. Okay? So the condition in the past, and this is hypothetical. Past perfect tense structure is a had plus past participle here. Then, example, I had eaten, past perfect. She had worked, past perfect. She had arrived, past perfect. We had won, the past participle of the verb to win. You had lost, he had gone, it had rained. Okay? So, if I had been careful, so this is the past perfect. This is unreal condition. I wasn't careful. So I wasn't careful, so I'm imagining if I had been careful in the past, I wouldn't have injured myself. So this is unreal past situation, so I imagine it's opposite. So we are imagining the opposite. Here the reality is the opposite of the action in the past. So if he hadn't swum is the past participle of the verb to swim fast, the shark would have eaten him. Okay, here we have the subject plus would have plus past participle, then if plus subject plus past perfect. Why here we don't have any commas here? We don't have any comma because we have reversed the result with the condition. So I would have helped poor people or treat poor people for free if I had been a doctor. If I had been a doctor. Now it's too late to be a doctor, but if I had been a doctor in the past, I would have treated poor people for free. So she would have had better teeth if she had been a dentist. They would have had good results if they had revised their lessons. You would have received a medal if you had won the race. We would have been amongst the deads if I hadn't drank water. If he hadn't swum fast, the shark would have eaten him. Okay, so let's have a small revision for this. Conditional type 01, we use this present simple and here present simple. When do we use it? Great. We use it for the scientific fact or a general truth. Then conditional type 1, this is the form. When do we use it? We use it with unreal situation. Unreal situation. Conditional type 2, if plus subject plus past simple, subject would, last time we use it when we imagine something. Okay, imagining something happened in the past. Then the conditional type 3, the last one, as we have seen, we use it when we have hypothesis. Also hypothesis in the past. It means here the condition is hypothetical. Hypothetical. Okay, great. We have finished all the 4 parts of the conditional. Now we move on to the practice.
انتبه. قناة الإدراك.